Okay. Well, welcome to the November office meeting. I think I like it being at 1. I'm more awake. And I just ate lunch. So now I'm energized. So anyhow, welcome everyone. Even though I can't actually see you, I know you're all staring at me. So the first thing, I just wanted to congratulate Stephanie and Sean. Stephanie Bishop is one of our coaches, and she's been with us for quite some time if you don't know her. So if you've been with us a while, you would know Sean too from different events and that. And I was honored enough to attend their wedding on Sunday. They actually invited me, so I felt pretty special. It was really beautiful, and she looked gorgeous. So I just wanted to take a minute and congratulate them on their nuptials. I think she might be on her honeymoon, so I don't think she's on this call, but maybe she'll see it later. And then I just wanted to remind everyone that we started a planning committee, and they're planning different events for you guys, and they've got lots of great ideas and a lot of fun things coming up for 2023. So if you want to join the planning committee, it's a lot of fun. Or if you just have ideas that you want to throw out to them, you can email them at planningcommittee@blissrealtyaz.com. You can email your ideas or email if you would like to join and get involved. So we're having a good time. We just had a meeting yesterday going over some stuff with ideas and stuff that we're planning and that they're working on for you guys to do coming up this year. I don't know why that changes. I barely touch my mouse and it moves. So anyways, they're working on some good stuff for you guys. So if you want to join, email us. You'll have fun. I emailed out my Calendly link, and I just wanted to remind you guys, here it is. It might be easier to reach me that way sometimes and give me a little heads up if you need help, if it's not an emergency. That way I can kind of know what it is you need. Sometimes I need to review the file and whatever. And sometimes when you catch me on the fly, I don't really know because I can't look at anything if I'm not in front of a computer. So, but if it's emergency, obviously reach out. Doesn't necessarily have to be scheduled, but if you just want to talk to me and it can be scheduled out, sometimes that's helpful for me and for me to give you my undivided attention to you and focus on what it is that you're asking. So just wanted to share that again. So coming up is our food box collection. We had sent this out. We've sent out a couple different things on our different platforms. So we're collecting food to fill food boxes, and we're going to be at the Gilbert office on November 16th at 2 p.m. to assemble the food boxes. So if you can make it, you will have a blast, and you'll be sorry you missed it. But we'll be collecting. So if you can bring the stuff before then, if you can't join us, or if you can't get there to the Gilbert office before then and you want to drop stuff off or bring it with you at the time, the list is on here of what goes into each box. They have it specific how we fill the boxes and what's needed for each box, and then we're going to pack the boxes and drop them off so that they can go to families in need for Thanksgiving. And it's through Cultivate Goodness. Mara knows a lot about them. They have different projects throughout the year and things we can get involved in. And this is the one we chose to do for Thanksgiving. So hopefully you guys can join us. Like I said, it should be a good time. We'll have fun. It's something you can use, on your social media to promote yourself as a realtor and what's going on, what you're doing, what you're working on. So it's good all around.
Hey, Lisa, I have a quick question about that. Do you have any idea what the time frame would be? So I see 2:00, but in order to block it off my calendar so that I don't interrupt with other stuff I have scheduled, do we know about how long to plan for that if we were going to attend?
However long it takes. So if you can come for an hour, come for an hour. If you can come for 2, I don't imagine it's going to be more than 2 hours, but it's hard to say because I don't know how much stuff we have. So
okay.
You can plan for what works for you and leave when you need to.
And honestly, if you just want to stop, drop off things and take photos, remember anything that you guys do, like we're putting together some service projects for December and then stuff for next year. So, you know, the committee is all about ideas for the agents to get together. They're planning some fun activities for 2023 of service projects, of activities for the agents to get together, some health ones, some health challenges, and then some business fun ones. So, you know, they meet on Zoom, so it doesn't take a lot of time. And then you're not expected to just be at all the events either. So even if you're wanting to be on the committee to help plan things, if you have fun ideas, then do it. Because I think the more the merrier. It's the agents, and as we keep growing, you know, doing these, even if they're face to face, we still have the Zoom links so that the agents in other states and around the states can all get together. And yeah, we did do Feed My Starving Children a couple years back. We actually have a red basket from being there. So if we did another event there, I think that's great.
I would love
And
that.
we've even, yeah. So, I mean, the committee, we want it to be all the or just agents with ideas like, you know, a monthly book, you know, a coffee, whatever you guys are looking to do. These are this is your committee. So, but the service projects, it's not only giving back to the community, it's also marketing for you guys. So, you know, if you're able to go out and pass this flyer out to your neighborhood over the weekend and have people drop food off at your house. I mean, guys, this is marketing you as an agent. So, and then as we get one for December, I mean, start using it for your business. This is how you get your name out there without just saying, hey, I want to be your realtor. So, you know, if we can come up with monthly or quarterly service projects, sorry, I've been sick. You know, this is how you get your name out there, and people start talking to you and talk about you and what you're doing. So it's giving back, but it's also you're marketing yourself. So
Can you
anyway,
guys send this flyer out to us by email if we want, so that we can have our title company co-brand it and we can print flyers? That'd be awesome.
yeah, we'll send it out again.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like if you can, like, I understand people have kids to pick up, so even if you can't stay, but you want to just pop in and say hi, we love to see your faces.
Heck
So,
yeah.
Pop in, drop off some stuff, say hello and leave. It's not like if you stop in that you have to stay in a single box. Like, we totally understand people have kids to get whatever's going on in your life.
Yeah. And if there's enough of us, we'll just do some food or something, you know, we'll have a good time. I don't think any of us are, you know, gonna turn away food. So anyway, and this is also for our vendors. So yeah, get it out there. Invite people, like that's the whole point of this. And Easy Spaces, Darby and them have passed it out. So yep.
Yeah, so join us, drop in, say hi. We hope to see a lot of you next week, even if it's just to say hello and drop some stuff off. Just wanted to remind you guys, it's that time of year again, realtor due. I have been getting my bills. I'm sure that's so exciting that that's just what you want to get, but just a reminder to keep an eye out and pay those invoices timely. They're not typically due till, I believe it's January for most of the associations, but just be mindful. Then they start sending me nasty letters when you guys don't pay. So just reminding you to keep an eye out. And I just wanted to remind everyone again, you guys are doing great. Y'all have been turning your stuff in. Everything's been going well, but remind you that the late fee is going back into effect. It started November 1st. Don't worry, I haven't had to charge anyone. Like I said, y'all are doing really good. Appreciate you getting your docs turned in on time and fill out and everything. So anyway, just wanted to remind you, because we emailed that out and talked about it. But anyway.
Can I ask a quick question? Speaking of docs and our Sweet Assist, I just did a rental for a friend, and I'm not really sure. I did the referral agreement and sent that to him, but I'm not really sure what I need to do in Sweet Assist. Do I need to add that as a transaction for a rental?
Yes,
Thank you.
so I'm
Yeah.
not.
Same thing like any other like Sky Slope or paperless pipeline. Any transaction needs to go in within 5 days. And I've put them in. It took me 10 minutes. And actually I uploaded a giant PDF doc and sat and kind of broke it down. I sat and unclicked each doc and sat and put it into each, broke it down. It was actually really easy.
Okay, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to get used to that and figure out exactly what's needed for
Yeah.
rentals. I don't do a lot of rentals.
Yeah, it's and when you put in the rental, it'll populate what documents need to go in there. That's like your checklist. So
Perfect.
yeah, and then you can, at the bottom, you can assign other agents in there. If you have transaction coordinator, like I assigned Lisa and Scott Knight, because we have a listing, submitted for review, and so yeah, it actually, I thought it was easier for me to use than Sky Slope. I actually struggled quite a bit with Sky Slope, believe it or not. So I don't know. And I know Lisa's laughing at me, but
I like Skype.
I honestly, I did not like it. But so for me, I could sit and actually review all the documents and then check them off and then check which ones I wanted into each of the checklist on the left. It was super nice. And I didn't even have to go through and break them all apart. I uploaded one giant file. It was super cool. And then I deleted them that I didn't need in there. So yeah.
Great. Thank you,
So,
Mara.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you guys, just
you-
check your chats and stuff. That way you guys don't have to ask Lisa like, hey, we're like, just check your chats, check your notes that way, because Lisa goes through them like anything else. And I know I'm sorry, I'm talking over you, Lisa, but you know, just everyone's like, just, you don't have to ask her. She'll tell you just like normal if something's missing or needs to be corrected, and check your chat, check your notes, and it'll populate. Make sure your notifications are on, because you'll get an email too from Sweet Assist. Just like when I upload a video or put it on the news feed, you guys should all be getting emails and stuff too. So
yeah, and I'll actually go over a little bit of that here in a minute. Kind of little tidbits for Sweet Assist on what I'm seeing or questions I'm getting asked. But when you're putting all your info in, Terry, to it, and you pick transaction type, like it'll tell you referral, rental, like you have choices there.
I did see that, and I did set it up. I just haven't completed it because I wasn't quite sure how I had done it in the past, because I can't get back into Sky Slope to see what I had to do, and it's so infrequent for me. So I just wasn't sure, but I do have it in there. I just haven't finished it.
Yeah, it's still the same doc, same list, just in Sweet Assist.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, speaking of notifications, I think that's one of the big ones. I feel like maybe people haven't turned on their notifications. So when we're doing like a news feed update, or I respond to your file and tell you like if I'm declining docs and why and what needs to be fixed, or something that might be missing, you have to have your notifications on. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go to the file and look for it. If you turn on your notifications, you will get an email. And the way you do that is you click up here, like I have my picture right here in this black bar, but if you don't have a picture, it'll be just like a circle. If you click on that, and then it'll give you the drop down, and you click here on email notifications, you'll see you've got two different kinds. You've got one here, and of course the drop down, you can see it, and one here. You can turn on, this is all a list of notifications that you want to get emails for, that you can turn on. And then you've got the secondary list over here. You click on that, it gives you a whole other list. And at the very least, I would click on at the very minimum, turn on documents declined under transaction notification, so you know if there was an issue with some and I declined it and why and what you need to do to fix it. And then I would go into chat and news posts under the other notifications. So if you click on this tab here, I would turn on the chat, because then it will email you every time I put something in the chat to you. And it will also update you and email you every time we upload news, or Mara puts in a new class or meeting that she uploads. You can get notified, and you can click on as much or as little as you want, but those are like the bare minimum that you probably need to know about if you want to stay in the loop of what's happening with your file and office. And then I just wanted to point out to you guys, because for the most part, there's a spot for everything, but we do have random stuff that comes up occasionally. And for whatever reason, or maybe it's just like, I don't know, you're concerned there might be an issue and you want to upload the conversation emails in there and just have them stored there in case there's an issue. You are free to do that. And if you scroll all the way, like you've got the left list of the documents here. If you scroll to the bottom, it'll say create custom document holder. It's like a little black bar here, and you can click on it and then you get this window. You can name the document whatever you want, and then it'll ask you phase. So like if it's just pertains to closing or active, it doesn't really even matter, honestly, what you pick over here, and then you hit create. You can upload documents into it. So you can name custom placeholders. If you have something and there's not a placeholder for it, you can make your own placeholder. So you have that availability to you to do that. So I just want to point that out. And then I wanted to point out the other big question I get. I call this the submit for closing list. Because you guys have done such a great job with submitting for review, because I feel like we've hammered that into you that you must submit for review. So when you click, you've got submit for review button down here every time you load docs to review. So one thing I want to tell you, if you've loaded docs and submitted them for review and I haven't got to it yet, then you won't be able to hit submit for review again, because it's still sitting in my queue until I clear it. But you'll be able to load more docs and it'll still be there for me to review. So that's what's happening if you can't hit the submit for review button, because you have already done it and I haven't cleared it out, meaning I haven't got to those docs yet. Doesn't mean you can't load more.
So submitting more documents or uploading more after we've already hit submit for review, that review will include anything we submit after that.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. That did confuse me before.
Yeah, you can't hit the button again because it's already submitted for review and I haven't cleared it yet. But
That made me panic.
And it sits there in my queue. So don't panic there. And then I think a lot of what I'm getting questions on the submit for closing button. So the deal with that is you have to have every one of these placeholders filled in order to submit for review. Otherwise, you get this error that says required document fields missing. And that's really confusing people. Now you can apply for an exemption to the ones that don't apply, but that's kind of time consuming and painful, I feel like, for you guys and kind of for me. But if you prefer to do that, because I know some of us are very like, we need to close everything out, and that's totally fine. If you want to submit for an exemption on each one of those that doesn't apply so that you can submit for closing, but you don't have to, and you don't have to submit for closing, because I know when it's closing, because you'll load the final HUD and we'll get the money from title and I can override that. So normally I just submit it for closing and close out your file once the final HUD is loaded and we've received the funds from title to pay you guys. So when it's all said and done, I close it out and you don't need to worry about it. So I know that was confusing, right? Because it's also right next to that submit for review button here. And everyone thought, okay, well, I need to hit this and it won't let me hit it. And it's because you have to fill every spot. So you have the choice, you can submit it for an exemption if it doesn't apply, or you can just leave it alone, and when you load that HUD and we get the money from title, it's just like Sky Slope. I check the file and make sure that everything's there, same as Sky Slope, that needs to be there, and I cut checks and close it out. So you don't have to do it. So hopefully that'll save you guys a little bit of time and confusion. Oh, so I found this really interesting. So I just thought it'd be a fun little tidbit to go over, because this actually happened to us about a year ago. We had a buyer buy a home, and the seller then tried to back out of the deal and refused to close. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that it happens a lot, but it does happen. And then you're like, well, that's weird. Because usually it's buyers trying to cancel and get out of contracts, not typically the seller. So what do you do, right? Because that's just not something that comes up very often. So, you know, if the seller doesn't close escrow in a timely manner, of course, like anything else, then they're in breach of contract. So the buyer can issue a cure notice. That's what would be your first step. If the seller doesn't correct the breach within their 3 days after you've submitted the cure, then buyer can cancel the contract. And I find this funny, and accept the earnest money deposit as damages. It's like, okay, well, that was already the buyer's money, so they're not receiving anything for damages. They're just getting their money back, and rightfully so, because the seller is the one who breached the contract. But basically, the buyer's only options if seller refuses to close or move out of the house is then to file for specific performance against them and start a lawsuit. And you can attach a list pendants to the property, or you could sue for monetary damages for the replacement of purchasing like a different house or whatever, since the seller wouldn't get out. But then and then the other issue, I mean, we've had this a little bit, but not really where the seller didn't completely get out. It was more of a, we closed and the seller like still hadn't got all their stuff out and hadn't left the house.
Oh yeah, I sat out front one day.
Yeah, we've had that happen too. And I mean, sometimes they're just late getting out and it's like, oh man, it's like not good, but they usually leave. But if they don't leave, it's like a process. Like the buyer has to issue a 5-day notice to vacate. And if that expires and the seller's still in the property, then the buyer can proceed with a forcible entry and detainer action and seek to have the buyer removed from the property. And it requires a formal action being filed, you know, in the courts to get them out. So it's not a quick and easy thing to do. But that was just kind of interesting. Like in our case, when we had it happen a year ago to our buyer, the seller got ill and then didn't want to move. And it's like, you know, I'm really sorry you're sick, but you sold your house. Like you're legally obligated to move. Luckily, in that case, the seller did close and get out of the house. So we didn't have to go through any of this, but I thought it would be a good thing to just mention.
I had a seller in a $1.2 million house that just figured he could just take his time moving out until I pulled up with a U-Haul, backed it up into the driveway and said, put your shit in the U-Haul now. I'm like, we are closed. Get in there now and take it to the dump. I don't care.
Yeah, it does happen more than you think, that they are slow to get out and it closes and the seller's still there. So hopefully they'll get out. I mean, the police will come, but they can't do like a ton. I mean, you basically do have to follow a process, and that could be very not good for a buyer who's got plans and nowhere to go. And if it takes 5 days and then they still don't vacate and they have to file formal action against them, it could be not good for your buyer. So, kind of good to know kind of what to do if that happens or where it goes, and it all becomes legal.
Yeah, it's actually serious, guys. This is why you've got to pay attention to the process, talk to the lenders, pay attention to the other agent and what's going on. and why you do your walkthroughs 3 days before closing. I mean, we had one where I represented a buyer who was also selling their property. So there was a contingency. They were selling their house and with a post possession, and the property that they were buying was in the middle of a remodel. It honestly should never have been listed because it never got finished remodeling, and the appraiser had to come back 3 or 4 times. I lost count. The listing agents were a team of 5 agents and they dropped the ball. It was a freaking hot mess. And the seller, it was a divorce and they almost didn't show up to even sign their paperwork. I had to cancel travel arrangements, and because you're looking at lawsuits, you're looking at triple lawsuits. So it truly affects you. Whether you do anything right or wrong, you get pulled into this. And so you've got to hold everybody accountable. And there's a divorce, there was the seller on drugs. We knew that. And so as much as he was remodeling the place, he was also tearing it apart and making it worse. So you've got a seller, and that one, he wasn't even wanting to move out. So then the listing agent tried to delay their closing. And we said, absolutely not, because he wasn't moving out. He literally did not pack any of his stuff. So I sat outside that house for almost an entire day, ensuring that they were moving their stuff out, and almost had the cops there. So this stuff, I mean, you do what you can because you don't want to get into a lawsuit. And at that point, yeah, you're threatening cure notices and you're sending cure notices. I think, Lisa, we sent a couple of them and had broker conversations. And you're dealing with 3 different transactions. So depending on the market, and last year was a crazy market and you wouldn't expect that. So who knows what you're going to see in the next couple of months, depending on where people are at and their head. So just be on your A game, ask questions, ask your coach, reach out to Lisa, reach out to me, but you can't sit by for 30 days and not know where you're at in your transactions.
Yeah, and if you're the buyer agent, I mean, just, yeah, keep your eyes open, ears open. Like I said, do your walkthrough in time to know, like, if it's 3 days ahead and they haven't even started packing, you need to start asking questions of that listing agent. Because I've had that too, where I do my walkthrough and not a thing was packed. The first thing I did was text the listing agent. What's going on? We're closing in 3 days. How is she going to get out of this house? What's the plan? Luckily, she did hire movers, and they came the day of closing and packed her super. I don't know why she waited till the day of closing, but the movers packed her. She did get out, but then when we went after it closed that evening with keys, like, they missed a couple drawers. So at least they got most of it. It was just like 2 drawers of stuff that were like, oh. But
yeah, and my freaking sellers, they were so high they left the water running. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
So we came through our walkthrough and there's water running down the washer and dryer area, flooding the brand new flooring in the washroom. So, and not a single person noticed that because they were so messed up. So, yeah, that was awesome too. So anyway, that's my soapbox. So
yeah, it's like, be on top of your sellers too. Make sure you know their plan for getting out. And if you're the buyer's agent, be aware of what's going on. And if it looks like there's an issue, start asking questions, and hopefully it can all get rectified before it turns into a big issue and becomes lawsuits and whatnot. And then I just kind of like, going along with this, I'm not sure how familiar you all are with a list pendants. So just kind of wanted to explain what that is actually. So if the seller refuses to close escrow and the buyer does hire an attorney and they file a specific performance lawsuit, you can record a list pendants against the property. And what this does is it constitutes a legal notice reported to evidence existing litigation involving title to the real property. So what that means is, let's say for whatever reason, the seller doesn't want to sell to your buyer for whatever reason and won't close, but they turn around and sell the house to somebody else. When you've recorded a lis pendens on there, then that means it's attached to the property. That means that whoever then owns the property are going to be bound by the outcome of the litigation. So, I mean, title obviously is going to look for this, and we would hope they catch it. They should catch it. But if it's on there and they sell the property to another buyer, and then that buyer, the whole lawsuit comes together and they get awarded the house, then hold on one second. It's my school nurse calling me. Hold on.
Well, I'll keep talking for Lisa. This is super important. There's some there's reasons why Lisa is very specific, asking for the MLS Plano, and we ask for this every time you guys upload a transaction. We ask for the agent documentation, not the client view. We ask for the private view, which is the agent client MLS Plano. I was a new agent maybe 2 years in, and it was when the market was getting super, super hot. And it was a property out in Maricopa, and I was under contract. My client was a 1031 cash. I had no mentor or coach. And we submitted our BINSR. And I never paid attention to if the property was under contract on MLS or not. Unbeknownst to me, the property was still active, and it was with a Keller Williams agent out of Ahwatukee. And what they did was, as the market was getting hotter, they went under contract and opened escrow with a different title company with a different buyer for a higher price. So they didn't respond to our BINSR, which was my red flag that something was up. And they went into escrow with a higher price with a different buyer. Well, that totally jacked up my client. My client was a 1031 cash. What they did was they whited out our purchase contract, a small section, to say that they never got into contract with us. So it came down to our clients, my E&O attorneys. That agent got fired from that Keller Williams office and had to go get hired on with a different KW office. And it came down to all my paperwork versus his, and it was one checkbox, and he whited out. Another reason why we tell you guys, do not white anything out. If you have to cross it out or just rewrite it, but any changes on a legal document requires both buyer and seller initials, any changes. So Lisa is, yeah, she's going to be anal. This is her job, is to always have our backs, because if we get pulled into a legal situation, even if it's not our fault, I was never at fault. And I never knew to look to see if that property got pulled off the market. But because of that, and I share all my mistakes with everyone because I'll never forget that. That's why we always pull and submit when we go under contract or pending, even the rentals, because Lisa wants a document that, hey, that property changed in MLS, and it's also contracting our commission. So if we don't have that, then Lisa's like, hey, you need to get on that agent. It needs to get changed in MLS ASAP, because that's the first red flag right there, that they're going to play contract games. But yeah, that lis pendens will protect your clients wholeheartedly, because I found out it doesn't matter. Clients can go open escrow on the same property, different title companies. They don't know what's going on. So yeah, that was a big learning to me. And to keep your paperwork, and you keep your emails, you keep your texts, you upload your receipts, you save everything, because when it comes down to it, I wasn't at fault, and I almost let my license go. I was terrified, but I wasn't the one that screwed up. So there's reasons why Lisa does the things she does, but it's always to protect you guys, always. So, when it comes down to it, we always have your guys' back. So anyway, Lisa's back. I can see her.
Thanks, Mara. apparently Brody got smacked in the face with a basketball and his bloody nose just finally stopped after like 40 minutes. So when I'm done here, I'm gonna go pick him up. So anyway, now it's him with the lip. So anyways, moving right along. Ooh, wait, is this going backwards? Hold on. There we go. Okay, so just kind of, we were talking with our vendors and the coaches and different things, and we're changing up the way we do classes just a little bit for 2023. We're gonna kind of limit it to more like maybe 2 classes a month plus the office meeting. And so kind of the reason for that is I feel like maybe we offer so many different things that maybe it's like could be overwhelming to you guys, maybe not, of deciding what to attend or what not to attend. And then with talking with our vendors, we decided they're offering special classes and special things as well that is always open to you guys. So we're gonna do like probably a quarterly like vendor thing with the vendors for information and stuff that you guys can join in person or on Zoom.
Yeah, a panel, like a quarterly panel, and it'll be a topic that they all choose. And so it'll be face to face and on Zoom. It'll always be on Zoom for everyone that's, not obviously local or out of state or whatever. And so we can record it. But then they'll all be in a panel so they can talk and answer questions, and you get all of them right there. So.
And then we'll offer, typically the plan is to do 2 classes a month on different topics. So if you guys have topics you want, let us know. We're gonna continue to have like Mara and our coaches and that lead classes for you guys. If you've attended some of them, they've done so far this year, they've done a really good job on different topics. So we're going to continue to do that. So let us know if there's certain topics you want to hear about. And even if we do have to go outside, find someone to teach on it, let us know and we'll work on that. And we're going to, like I said, limit it to maybe 2 a month. So you're not feeling like overwhelmed or what to pick and what to choose. We all have, families, and you guys need to be working your business too. And we're all busy and working our businesses. So hopefully maybe that'll make it a little easier for everyone. So I just wanted to tell you guys that. There we go. Save the date, we are having a holiday potluck party. It is Friday, December 9th at 12 p.m. at the Gilbert office. Our planning committee is working on all the details. So there will be a theme and some fun things going on. I'm not sure how much more information I have right now. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Mark?
I mean, get ready to have fun. Potluck. We'll probably do a sign up genius or something. Warren's pretty good about that stuff. So is Robin about keeping us all organized. So themes, I know, keeping it, obviously really budget friendly and doing a white elephant gift exchange. Nothing X-rated, obviously, but I think we all have sense of humors, and so I know, right? I mean, come on. So, and we'll have, decorations. We did put it out there. I'm waiting to hear from Darby and John. If we're going to team up with Easy Spaces and that whole crew, because it doesn't need to be just us, right? So, so I should hear from them on Monday, and then we'll let everyone know. Obviously eggnog, cocktails, whatever. And, we played some fun games last time when we got together after the office meeting. So, maybe even a movie or something, who knows, like, doesn't need to be huge, but just a low key, just get together. Right. So.
Yeah. And we've done a potluck Christmas party before. You've been with us for a long time, and we have an absolute blast. So
And
Get
it,
ready
this
for a good
this
time.
is agent only, right? So it's just the agents. It's not a family thing. It's just,
No, just
Okay,
agents, yeah.
awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank
We look forward to seeing everyone. If you guys can make it out for that. And there'll be more details to come on that. So that was kind of part of our discussion with the planning committee yesterday. So we're just working out the last of the details. And then we'll get something out to you guys. So today, December 9th, it's Friday, noon. Oop. I just changed something. I don't know what I changed. Oh, so weird. This thing is very tempting. Okay, so next office meeting will be until January 12th at 1. We don't typically do one in December because we all get so busy with the holidays. It's like they just go so fast, starting Thanksgiving, and you guys all have family stuff and holiday stuff. So we won't be having an office meeting in December. So we will start with regularly scheduled office meetings again in January. And then on to recognition. I always feel like I need to get something that does it. But our November President's Award goes to Warren. We picked Warren.
Yay!
you. Hey, nice.
Warren has been doing an awesome job of volunteering, he's working his business, he's doing Popeyes, he's got deals going on, he's on the planning committee, and he's all in and working it from every angle. And we're super proud of him and glad to have him as part of Bliss. He's been a big help to us in the planning committee as well. So yay, Warren!
Way to go, Warren.
He's awesome.
And his social media play is on point. He's right on it.
Nice. And then for November Agent of the Month, that goes to Mitch Fischer. Woo! Mitch is actually one of our agents down in Tucson. He joined us, I don't know, it's been several months, but he came out with a bang. He's closed a couple things, he's working at his business, and he's doing a fabulous job. So we just wanted to recognize Mitch and congratulations, November Agent of the Month. So, yay! And that's all I have today for you guys. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, no, he's actually not related to me, Terry. I was wondering if someone was going to ask that.
I thought it in the last meeting, the tax one, and I was like,
Yep, no relation, just same spelling as the last name.
He's a cutie and he's being shy. I know he can't talk right now, but he works another job too down in Tucson. Him and Patty are freaking busting butts in Tucson, but
so
yeah, he's on social media, like, and he's an athlete, and his brother, so his brother is listed on our agent info site who sells medical insurance and stuff. So Mitch works really hard too. Him and Warren, like, they were great for this month.
yay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. Any questions before I let you all go? All right. Well, have a fabulous rest of your week, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you guys next week to do
Yay.
this.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks
guys.
so much.